Hello, my name is Michael Nava. I've been in technology for about 30 years now, and I've been with AI automation for about 2 years now. Done some very cool projects, and this is what I wanted to present to you guys in the real estate field. I think this is going to be a absolute game changer for the entire industry. And I call this Apex reports. So let's go ahead and explain what this is and how it's going to dramatically change your entire office. Okay. So what the Apex reports are, I have a seller set and I have a buyer set. I'm going to talk about the buyer's report today, and I'm going to show you some really cool stuff. And we're going to see a lot more than just me talking here. Okay. Um, so what this is basically it's a buyer assessment, and we're going to analyze the buyer, their needs, their wants, their psychological stuff. When it comes to buying, not there, but when it comes to buying, when it comes to buying and some of the psychology behind that, disc reports and whatnot. We'll see that in a minute. We're going to incorporate all of those factors as well. So we're going to be able to create that buyer profile like nobody's ever created before. We're going to be able to take a cluster of properties that they may be interested in according to their survey and a create a match using AI. We're going to take their psychological that we created, or no, their buyer profile that we created, and then we're going to match that against properties. We're going to rank the properties by how close it matches their profile, uh, and then we're going to explain why that match is there. Okay, why does this get at 89? And why does this one get only a 72? We're going to be able to analyze that. And then the last thing is take all that property information that we scrape from realtor.com or Zillow or Redfin or any other site, take that, digest it down for the buyer, and then analyze that. Um, into a very digestible amount of data so that they could look at it, they could quickly read it. So they're going to get all about the property, and they're going to get everything about how that property matches them. So it really is the perfect matching system for your buyers. I also have a seller one I'm working on too, but this one I think is going to change everything. So anyway, let's look at some things. So Apex reports. Close that tab. And what we have, so let me just show you a quick form and show you the quick output, and then we'll get into the slide deck. And then I'll do the slide deck thing. But first, basically, it's just a form. I felt like a little color change today, so I made this pink, but this is all customizable. I just made a fictional real estate company name, ABC Realty. Explains what this form is. This isn't just a little one pager that they fill out. This is pretty detailed. So a comprehensive questionnaire helps us understand your unique needs, preferences, and priorities. By analyzing your responses through our exclusive buyer matching system, we'll create personalized property strategy that aligns with both your practical requirements and deeper motivations. Your thoughtful responses enable us to match you with properties that truly resonate with your lifestyle and goals. We're not just checking off a box for the buyers. They want to pull, yes. Okay, they want this, you want a cul-de-sac. We're not just checking off the boxes. Those days are gone. This is the way everything should be done from now on, through my reports here. Okay, so let's just briefly look at this. It's a long report. We're not gonna look at the whole survey, but we get the buyer's name, basic contact information, current living situation, and then we have a lot of, yeah, we have the family composition, we have buying motivation framework. Let me close these up for you. But we basically have family composition, buying motivational framework, budget and financing, location and neighborhood preferences. We'll pop into a couple of these. Uh, Property type and features, outdoor lot preferences, interior features, must have and deal breakers, future considerations, timing and urgency. So we get a whole lot of categories. Let's just pop into a couple of these. Here, buying motivation framework. So we're getting into some of that psychology. Okay, who are the decision makers? Where do you get your inspiration from? Home preferences. Okay, where do you get your inspiration? Do you go to open houses? That's what we do. Do you go or open? We go to model homes. So model homes, open houses, all these things. Uh, and then just different, in a competitive situation with multiple offers, would you prepare to? So how are you going to handle those when they come up? Here we have a sorting little thing here. So I just kind of made this cute little sort. So you can basically prioritize items by moving them, to the top or to the bottom and see how the numbers automatically resort. So kind of a kind of a break from the check boxes for a little bit. So once in a while, we will be asking to rank and score and rate, and that is going to help that AI find that match because it's not just a yes or a no. There's a whole lot in there. Okay, where is the flexibility? Let's pop into one more of these. Must-haves and deal breakers. Okay, it's just easy. I gotta have these three, and I cannot have these three. Oh, here's a slider for you. Okay, and here's a slider I was telling you about. So open floor plan, you can slide it, right? So give it a little bit more weight. And by the end of this report, they have got so much information to process, and you'll be amazed at this outcome of the report. So anyway, you get it. So this is just a report, nothing great. We could customize it, put your logo, give it whatever name you want. Okay, so basically once that is submitted, then all the magic happens. So you'll see that in the slide deck here, but all that magic happens. Um, so we take that buyer information, and now it's ready. Now we're ready to match a property to them. Okay. So at this point, the buyer profile is already made. That buyer profile is made very quickly, all done automatically. So now it's time to go shopping for our buyers that we know exactly. We've got, as soon as we get a collection of properties, we know we're going to find the best property for them. So I've already kind of pre-did this, so I don't have to scroll all over the place. I just did a search for Eastvale. But our buyers wanted Eastvale, Norco, or Eastvale, Chino, and Ontario. So you could basically go to the map and, zoom in and zoom out. And this is all Southern California for those not familiar with this. But basically our buyers are telling us, yeah, this is the area that I want to stay in. I've already filtered out their 650K. That's their price range. So I just made that the minimum 650. And the magic here is we copy that. And so that is all we do is we copy that. And then I use that as our property parameters. Okay. Once those property parameters are in, the scrape happens. And we're going to scrape realtor.com or Zillow or whoever, or all of them. And we're going to come up with a property list. This is one that I ran previously, so you'll have some duplicates here. But say you'll have maybe 10 properties that fit them that you would like to present to them. So now you gotta kind of comb through all the properties and see which one is a fit. We can bring in photos as well, but I didn't bring it in. I just want to really deal with the data end of this. But yeah, we can bring in photos. Okay, so here's our data. Let's say, take out the duplicates. I don't know, maybe 10 of them. So these are our matches. Let me just show you quickly what we're looking at here. I'm using Airtable as my base, as my database. This could easily be Google Sheets or any kind of web form. It doesn't matter. This could even be your CRM. I'm just using my Airtable. Okay, so we have basic property information here. Okay, agent text. This is the description that was on the listing that the agents type in. Great, cozy, cozy and warm and pool and spa and all that stuff. Horse property right there. But here is where the AI comes in, and here is where my end of this, and here is where the Apex report power comes in. So we're going to slide over now. The rest of this is just all scrape data from realtor.com. See at the top here, history. We got history, we got fire information, we got noise information, we got wildfire right here. So I don't want to deal with all the columns, so I do summarize these columns. So we'll see that in a little bit. Go back to that. Okay. So we've got the agent text, and then we've got the percentage match. This is that percentage match from that web form Now we created that buyer profile. Now we brought in the data, and instantly and automatically it's going to score the match based on the buyer profile. And here's the why. Why does it match? I really don't care about the number. I want to know why the number. What's so great about this match on this property for my buyers? Now, I'm using a different set of buyers here, but similar parameters, same area, same price range. I do this so much, in testing. I just try to come up with different names, different family names. But basically, it's a match score here, and the justification. So why is there such a high score for these guys? Well, the property, Phoenix aligns with this is the Johnsons, another property couple I did work for. So with Leo and Lucille Johnson budget, okay, and preferences, offering a modern 3 to 4, okay, gated community for 699, which is within their 650 range. So their range was 650. This is a good match. At least it fits in. The condo is move-in ready condition, which is one of the things that they said they wanted, and a modern kitchen and all that. So all the must-haves are met. Additionally, the location in Eastvale keeps them within their desired commute range. So they wanted to stay in this area, and that did. And they have school ratings of 9, a rating of 9 of 10. So schools were important to them. So again, another very good match. So right there, it matched them on the budget, it matched them on the school and some of the amenities inside the property. However, there are some concerns. Look at this. Uh-oh. The wildfire risk is severe. Okay. Yep, we have wildfire data, we have noise data. Additionally, while HOA, I'll quit moving the mouse here. While the HOA amenities and add value, the HOA fee is not specified, which is crucial since they said they wanted a real low HOA fee. So that's a question mark, maybe a red flag. They wanted a $100 HOA fee, which is not going to happen. But so they basically saying uh, there's HOA amenities, which indicate a fee, but there's no fee stated. So that could just be a little red flag. The 3-story layout might also be a drawback, since they would have preferred a single story to a 2 home to avoid too many stairs. Lastly, while they ideally wanted a single family home with a yard, this is a condo with no yard space, which may not go down a bit, which may not completely fit them. So it's telling them the good, it's telling them the bad, and here's some suggested improvements to enhance compatibility. Confirm the HOA fees. So maybe more for the agent, right here. Confirm the HOA fees to ensure they align within their budget. Evaluate the potential wildfire insurance costs. So because they live in a high wildfire area, the insurance costs might be high. That's great. That's amazing insights for an agent to have. Remain flexible on property type. Okay, so they initially wanted a single story home, but they're tight on their budget, so move-in ready condos. Okay, so I love the suggestion here. Okay, and then let's just look at another one that's bad. Okay, that's a low score. Let's just see why it's a low score. Okay, come on, let's do this. Okay, so this is a lower match score. So it meets many of the needs, as such as being a single family home, offering 3 and 2, budget concerns. Okay, it's over their budget. Location mismatch. They preferred Eastvale and Orco, and they ended up in Harupa Valley. Wildfire risk and noise concerns. Okay, so there's a severe wildfire risk on this one. So there's too many risky. Look at this, all that. But again, same thing, just it's a little bit different match. Okay, and then after that, we have the summary. So we also have the summary. This is the AI summary that I created out of all of those columns. All of those columns. I just kind of summarized it so you could do a quick glance. Okay, agent info, all the important stuff here. Okay, so that's basically the system there, and then the output the output is cool because the output after that, this is their buyer profile. We already have the match. So now we tie that all together and we have a final, we have a final buyer readiness. So this buyer readiness isn't going to tie in those potential properties. This is just telling the buyers, here is a strategy for going forward with your search with us. Uh, the properties are going to be, a separate thing. They're not tied into the report. But okay, Hollister family acquisition strategy. So this is basically the end of the report. Okay, the core drivers. So what is the core drivers for their buy and making decision? I won't go through everything of this, but basically the three cities that they wanted are Eastville, Chino, and Ontario. Here is the Eastville position. So they're going to stack the three up and compare them. So this is Eastville's position, the advantages, new housing stock, and this is pulling all live web data. This isn't making any of this up. Market timing, okay, so high new construction activity, that kind of thing. Ontario position. So what does Ontario have to offer as far as Ontario as a city? Okay, so it tells you advantages, challenges, and market timing. Chino position. What does Chino have to offer right now? Uh, Value proposition. So balanced value proposition, 650. Established neighborhoods, larger lots, that kind of thing. So it stacks them up pretty good. Financial architecture for the Hollister family. So tier one, strategic maximum. In other words, here's our pricing strategy for you guys. So tier one, tier two, and tier three. Location. And here's the three metrics here. So these kind of how they stack up: education quality, community safety, community efficiency. These are all on that survey. So not just, yes, I want a school, I have a kid. It's a lot of information. Strategic locations, primary target, North Eastville. So we're not only telling them what city, we're telling them what part of that city we should really hone in on. And this helps when we're presented with the property list. Now we're able to really hone in on what we want. So anyway, just a letter for the Hollisters here. Just basically, uh, we've developed an acquisition strategy based on your survey, and then exploration of assistance program. I think they said that they were in the process of getting qualified or working with somebody. So this is just telling them, okay, here's some assistance programs, because they said that they were interested in some maybe first-time buyer programs and stuff. So we gave them that information. Location, neighborhood feasibility. So now we're just getting into neighborhood stuff. Um, let's see here, property type, realisms, must-haves, deal breakers, that kind of thing. So, yep, deal breakers, potential challenges, okay, potential hurdles. So these are the different hurdles. So this is a pretty detailed report. It's actually quite nice. I'll make it available to download so you guys could check it out properly. Okay, and I just wanted to show you the benefits of all of this. So a quick little slideshow real fast. I'll try to go through it pretty quickly and briefly, but I wanted to kind of show you guys the working parts of this thing, and then now let's see the benefits. Apex reports, next generation of real estate client profiling. Okay, the challenge: average agent 15 properties before they make a purchase. 22% of the deals fall through after acceptance. 31% of the people regret after they buy it. Client referral rates, not that great. Okay, this is really to impress your buyers. You're going to have something that nobody has. You're going to have something that nobody's probably even heard of yet. They will in a few years. I'm sure everybody will have this, but right now nobody does. I created this. This is my creation. We'll customize it exactly for your office. Okay, introducing Apex reports. So real estate challenges. Just again, it's going to cut down on your showings You're going to get more direct, more successful showings. Implementation is 7 days. Okay, inside of a week, we can have all this ready for you. Okay, so some of the components, the core profile assessment, we just went through the form. Psychological insights module. So we do a psychological. We kind of blend the psychological inside of that form as well. So they're filling out a psychological form without knowing it. And then future planning and blueprint. So we're going to match their trajectory, qualified, not qualified, life transitions, life interest, all the intricacies of that form. And then we have some psychological frameworks here. We have the DISC assessment, a risk tolerance profile. And this is all in the same questionnaire. So you're getting all of this stuff. Motivational driver analysis, decision-making style. Who's the decision maker? How do you guys make decisions? So we can now understand the why behind their answers sometimes. Measurable business impact. What does this mean for your office and your agents right here? You're going to show a lot less. We're going to be more focused on the showings. 20 so higher transaction completion rate. So we can spin these up. We can spin these up maybe 10 a day. We can maybe do that, but we could talk about the numbers and what you guys want. But we could generate these. We can generate these pretty quickly. Increase in client satisfaction scores. I almost guarantee your clients are going to be much happier with what you guys are presenting them. The fact that you're doing all this analysis and nobody else is doing this for them, really going to be powerful. Higher referral generation. Yeah, you want to impress them. It's going to impress the heck out of them. And then 18% in agent productivity. This report alone saves them on average 6 to 8 hours in one day. And these reports are generated automatically. After you submit that form, it's done automatically. Okay. I pretty it up a little bit. So if you want that pretty fancy version, there's a little bit of editing there, but everything else, it's taken a lot. It's taken a few years to get that process down automatically. So this is not this might be a new thing, but I've been working on this stuff for 2 years to produce exactly this. Your market advantage. Okay, client. I'll breeze through this pretty quickly. So comprehensive client profiling. Yep, we're gonna profile the heck out of them. Measurable impact. Okay, finance. Okay, this slide could have been zapped. Okay, agent success. So for the agent, it's going to accelerate that sales cycle. Okay, higher conversion rates, efficient property selection. You're not going to waste your time on useless properties. Deeper client relationships. Yep, especially filling out that form, you're going to really get to know them a lot and understand their needs a lot more. The AI will, but I want the agents to understand their needs as well. I don't just rely on the AI for everything. But that survey is it's a good time to spend with the client. Either the agent can fill it out, but I like the client to fill that out. You maybe can do that over a Zoom call or even in person. But that's a really good, I think, bonding moment for that buyer because you are going to spend, I don't know, maybe a half an hour with them filling out that report or the survey. Enhanced negotiation position. You're going to have all the leverage you need. You're going to know how your buyer thinks. You're going to know how they make their decisions. So you're going to have a lot more power in that negotiation table. And that's going to be your powerful differentiation. Client experience. So let's look at this seamless implementation. We get this done for you guys in 7 days, inside of 7 days. 1 hour to train everybody. You're basically just running through the form with them. And then any customizations you want after that. This could be completely turnkey. All you guys would have to do is to say, basically make an order the form. I give you the form link and just have the buyers fill out the form. We can make it generic and just have them fill it out. And then I'll need to know what you guys want to do after they fill that out. Where do you want the report to go? That kind of thing. So it really doesn't take more than an hour or so to kind of get this going. Continuous system updates. We're continuously updating this AI and the AI matches for better matches and better synergy with the buyers. Tailored client introduction, marketing materials and scripts to showcase the difference. Yeah, don't worry about that. Strategic broker advantages. Okay, so market differentiation. You guys could have this exclusive if you want. You could have territorial exclusives. So your Apex reports are not going to be run by anybody else in that area. We could talk about that. Talent magnet. You guys are going to attract agents knowing that, okay, these guys are using some AI method that's crushing it. I want to work for them. Okay, I want to be part of that system. Accelerated agent development. We can develop many, many, many more AI tools to accelerate this agent development. I think this one is going to be a very good one. Once he runs that, or once they run that, they work with the buyer. It's probably going to be a lifetime buyer after that. Retention engine. Yep. Look at this. Premium brand positioning. So you can brand these reports if you want. We can talk about all that, but this could be yours exclusively if you want. The insights advantage, risk tolerance thresholds, primary emotional drivers. So we're not just saying, do you want a pool? Do you want a cul-de-sac? Do you want this? Why do you want a cul-de-sac? Why do you want a pool? Would you have a pool? Would it be a deal killer for you? So now we're kind of already finding all of their flexibilities and their maybes and their must-haves and their I don't like this and I hated this about my last house. So we're bringing all of that out for this survey. Okay, and that's why it's really important. I think it's a great bonding moment for an agent and a buyer to really get into the survey and just know that when you hit send, boom, that report is done. Send a copy right to the agent, right there, right at the table, or right where they're meeting with the client. Crazy, it's crazy. Okay. Future life changes. Okay, so we're going to get into lifestyles and are you a hiker or are you a swimmer, or are you a fisherman? Do you have to be near water? That kind of thing. Your implementation pathway demonstration sessions, it only takes about, a few minutes to kind of go over this. If you guys want to do a WebEx, we can do a 1 hour, half hour WebEx with your office. And we can kind of go over what your needs are and go over any questions that you guys have here. Let's see what else we got. Custom configuration for your market. So yeah, we can tailor this to your market. In fact, everything here, as you saw by that map I showed, everything is customizable for whatever market you want. Agent certification scheduling. We don't have a certification program, but if we did, we'll certify your agents. I'll give them a little piece of paper if they want. Implementation timeline. We'll develop on our initial call. We'll develop a roadmap, but usually inside of a week is all we need to get started on this. And here we go. A little bit about under the hood. Yep, a lot goes on. It's not just hit the button and it's automatically done. It took 2 years to get this automatically done. Okay, it took a lot of time. Here's a survey. This blue is just survey. We take the survey, we analyze the heck out of it. Their buyer preference, their qualification questions, their psychological questions, the why and the maybes. And then we create a strategy for the buyer, and then we end up with that we create the buyer profile. That's what I showed you earlier for the Hollister family. Okay, so that's basically one. We do the buyer profile, and that's it. And then now, if you want to analyze that buyer profile against properties, now we bring in the property scrapes from all the different agents, all the different Zillow.com and all the different companies. Import properties based on buyer preferences. So again, we just started with that 650 range. We didn't get into the pool and all that. I don't want to narrow it down too soon, but start at least with the price. Get the biggest, broadest collection you can in their price range, and then let the AI will do the matching for you. Okay, and remember those 3 columns I showed you, the match percentage column. That's what gets done here, and then we generate the why. Why does this a match? Okay. And then we do the summary. So we take all that column data that you have to scroll over and summarize it into a nice little thing. And then what we end up with is here, buyer property ranked recommendations. So you have 2 things here. You have the recommendations for properties, and then you have the buyer profile. Okay. And that is it. Thank you for watching. I hope I answered most of your questions on this video, and if not, I will put up a link so that you can get a hold of me. But these are brand new reports. We're just getting these off the ground. So if you want to lock in a territory, or if you just want to be the first in the community to get one of these, they're super powerful. And until you get one, you just won't realize how powerful this is. So thank you, and enjoy your day.